So let's talk a little bit about the insanity of the current system in Ontario, Canada, which has been disgracefully managed by conservative politicians. So I'm a biomedical engineer. I have worked on the most advanced bionic arm in the world as an intern. And I'm currently in a pretty competitive program for clinical prosthetics and orthotics, a medical specialist for braces and artificial limbs. The only reason I'm sharing this is to point out that I'm pretty well educated, pretty hardworking, and due to no fault of my own, have become disabled, much like the patients I hope to serve one day. But what is crazy is that the current system in Ontario, and from my understanding much of Canada, is such that at maximum you will receive $1,400 a month. To put that into context, the average rent in Toronto for a single person is close to 12. So it's an impossible number. Secondly, let's say you get that support. At maximum, you can receive $10,000 of support from anyone else before you're kicked off the system, which means that people just end up homeless, or they end up dead, or they end up pushed into the assisted dying program. This is abhorrent. This is a perverse way for society to function. In the previous video, you can see that I was physically pretty fit. I take care of myself. I've never smoked. I didn't even drink till I was like 24. I think it's really important for us to fix these systems because all of us are affected by it. Unless we literally sign up to just decide to, like off people, I don't know, like stray dogs or something, and then somehow get rid of them in a non-expensive way, which I think we can all agree is a disgusting way for any society to function. We're all in it together. There's no actual system where everyone doesn't cover everyone else's costs. That's just how society functions. What does happen, though, is that rich folks can convince you that with a private system you'll pay less, or if you're taxed less. But the reality is that taxes are by far the cheapest way for any service to work, because it's got the largest numbers. Also, I want to put forward the idea that healthcare shouldn't be seen as a service. It should actually be, and I'm a leftist, but I also have grown up and have a lot of friends and family and loved ones who have been in military. I personally see it as a national security issue because the primary role of any government, any society, is to keep you safe and alive. And we saw this with COVID. Canada did a great job of trying to get people home. And that's what it should do. And let's say, for example, in the future, there's a hypothetical situation where there was an intentional attempt at using a biological weapon. Your healthcare services are what are going to protect you. Your ability to go to war, to protect yourself, literally everything is based on people being healthy. So looking at it from a lens of it's a luxury is silly, honestly. I think that's why I think universal healthcare should be a right-wing issue, because how else are you going to maintain a society that's ready to fight? Anyways, on my end, I'm still figuring out how I'm going to avoid being homeless. That's a small thing, and I have so many privileges around that and people who are trying to help me out. I think it's really important for everyone to see that, it's so easy to fall through the system, and that a lot of the homeless folks you see really never intended to be there, and often didn't really do anything wrong. But once you're homeless, it's hard to get a place. It's hard to do things. There's a lot of roll-on effects, and we need to figure those out because that's really not how we should be doing things if we want a nice world to live in and a safe world. Desperation is what leads to crime.